Well, good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. This, of course, will be my last Behind the Mic for 2022, and I'll be recording the first radio show for 2023. Almost a quarter of a century into this new. Hey, Craig, good morning. Yeah, sometimes when that truck gets dirty, you just got to trade it in, don't you? Hello, Cliff. Good morning. How are you? John, I'll be talking to you shortly here on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. What a weather roller coaster we're on right now, right? The weather roller coaster continues. Tora Grossa said it would be this way, and it is. Doug, good morning. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. It's supposed to be, 50 here coming up in the next few days. What does that mean for snow conditions? What does it mean for ice conditions? What does it mean for possible flooding? Isn't it crazy? I mean, man, it was just like so cold we couldn't stand it. Now it's going to be warm. Hey, good morning, Joe. How are you? Hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas up there and a blessed New Year to you as well, my friend. Bernie, good morning. Brian, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. Hello, Robert. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic. I will be back here tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. We'll give away one last ham for the holidays, courtesy of our friends from Michigan Brand Meats. Daylight in the swamp. There's an old saying for sure. Good morning, John. Davina, good morning. How are you? Always a pleasure to have you along with us. And again, it was so nice to meet you and your family in person at Oscar and Joey's Roadhouse here about 3 weeks ago now. 3 weeks ago today now. It is hump day, which means it's Wednesday. Mike, what day is it? It is hump day. Good morning, Justin. How are you? Lost Glove says it's 36 in Nuevo, if I remember right. Robert, Billy, Johnny, are you sitting in a snowplow this morning, Johnny, or do you get a little bit of a break now for a few days? Rob. Yeah, Ross is going to have a lot of trucks to clean off. ML checking in from Louisiana. Donnie May says it's 20 in Upertown. Cliff said he saw lots of shanties east of 75 on the Saginaw River yesterday. The question, Cliff, is how long will they be able to be out there? With this warm weather, the melt, the runoff, it's going to be cutting the ice from above and below. But I saw the same thing. Shanties on the river. So the folks who love ice fishing are getting a chance to enjoy it, at least for a while. Johnny says, yes, a little bit of a break. No, I am no break, 3 to 4 inches, laying down some salt now. Justin says, probably a good day to run some beagles. You know, it's interesting you say that because in the third hour of this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, Corky Legui will be talking about bunnies and beagles. So good timing. Appreciate that plug. Julie, good morning. How are you? Carrie Ann, check out the Three Rivers Wildcats bass fishing team. We have over 40 members and growing. We fish the MYBFA, Michigan Bass Fishing Association. But what's the Y stand for? I get the M, Michigan BFA, Bass Fishing Association. But what does the Y stand for, Carrie Ann? Doing great, Julie. Thanks. Still eating that Michigan brand ham. Isn't it good? We had Michigan brand ham at our place too. Youth, thank you. Oh, Justin said he's probably going with them. Oh, okay. So you had a little inside information there, eh, Justin? Okay, youth. Great. Speaking of that, I'm going to have John Callison, the president of the CMU Bass Fishing Club, on the radio show this week as well. While we're talking about it, Judy Black joins me. She is a hardcore outdoorsman from northern Michigan, outdoors woman, outdoor person, hunter, angler. She's written a book. Hey, no problem, Charles. I usually don't get authors on the show just for the sake of writing a book, but she's a far more interesting person than just have written the book. So Judy will join us, then John Callison of the CMU Bass Fishing Club, and then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News. In hour number 2, I saw that, Donnie Mae. Several flood alerts for northern Upper Peninsula through Thursday. In hour number 2, Captain Jerry Link of Originator Charters out of St. Joe. He's on the river with clients this morning. I hope we can make it happen. Somebody from MUCC will follow up. I think it's Nick Green, but he's out west bird hunting. This week's Ask Avery question segment, we're going to talk about coy wolves and why, in my opinion, it's a bad idea to buy into the coy wolf discussion. I think if we buy into the concept that wolves and coyotes are interbreeding, it's a bad road to go down because it'll be the end of predator hunting as we know it. Why? Because if it can be generally accepted that wolves and coyotes are breeding, and I'm not talking about some residual wolf DNA from generations ago, which of course is going to be there. If we buy into the concept that wolves and coyotes are interbreeding, the antis, the whack jobs, the crazies, the people who have no concept about what reality and Mother Nature and nature in general are really about, if they get on that bandwagon, there will be no more coyote hunting, because once the mass media and the general population and the powers that be and the whack jobs, the antis, convince people that wolves and coyotes are interbreeding, coyote hunting will be banned. You mark my words. If we go down this road, coyote hunting will be banned. So let's not go there. Let's not go that direction. John said, more common in the South, red wolf and coyotes. Good morning, Ricky. How are you? Do they exist? I'll tell you what, Bernie. If you watch a PBS, they exist, but there is no scientific definition for coy wolves. There's a scientific definition and description of wolves. There's a scientific definition and description for coyotes, but there is no biological term for coy wolves. So let's not go that direction. How's the new truck? The new truck is beautiful. Morning, Jay. Happy New Year to you as well. Yeah, I had to trade the truck in because it was time for an oil change. And, and then it was dirty. And then I broke that upper ball joint. So it was just, so this new truck that I have right now, I actually will probably keep it just because it's dirty. But when it's time for the first oil change, I'm trading it in. To heck with it. Sal says, Mike, and Mike. Mike, and Mike. Hey, Brent, good morning, buddy. How are you? Ricky, good morning. How are you? Nice to have you along with us on this edition of Behind the Mic. My name is Mike Avery. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio to record this week's show, obviously. And then in the third hour, Corky Legui talking about beagles and bunnies. And then Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Wayne checking in from Las Vegas. How are you? PBS. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to argue with the people who make the nature TV show. They're far more knowledgeable than I am. I'm just looking at it from a practical point of view, a pragmatic point of view, that if we start throwing around the term coy wolf, so let's drop it. Let's not go that way, because it'll be the end of predator hunting. It's pure and simple. Mad Jack, good morning. How are you? Jerry, what day is it? Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Yeah, my last truck had a 6.2 as well. Paul says, yeah, he would have traded it in. Yeah, why not? Actually, the truth of it is, here's the real truth on that. I run 3-year leases on my Silverados. I get them from Garber Chevy. And I run so many miles that at the end of 2 years, it's time to get out of them because they won't be worth anything. So I talked to the folks at Garber Chevy in Midland. I said, I'm 58,000 miles and 2 years into this lease. What should we do? They said, let's get out of it. Let's get you in a new truck, because that truck will rapidly not be worth what you still owe on it. So that's what we did. But this time I went from a Silverado LT, I went to a ZR2. The ZR2 is a pretty sweet truck. pretty sweet truck. In fact, it's by far the nicest truck I've ever owned. Bernie says he loved hunting cottontails with beagles. The only thing I need to do with that truck, and I'm debating whether I'm going to put the full wrap like I had last time, or because it's such a sharp looking truck, I may not cover it to the extent I did before. I do think I want to, well, I don't think. I do want to put bigger tires on it. It comes with 33s. I'd like to put 35s on it, but I don't want to lift the front end. The DR2 comes with a 2-inch lift. I don't know if I can get 35s under that front end, though. Team Extreme Michigan says Michigan deer hunting needs a big change. What would you like to see change? Number one, there should be a $1 tag. Here's what I'd like to see change in Michigan deer hunting. There should be a $1 tag, and baiting should be allowed in the Lower Peninsula. Those are my changes. $1 tag. You want to get real aggressive and progressive. Let's go to the earn a buck system where you have to shoot a doe first. I'd be in trouble because apparently I can't shoot a doe. Let's go to a $1 tag and let's allow baiting in the Lower Peninsula again. That's my wish list for Michigan deer hunting. What do you think? What do you think? $1 tag, allow baiting again. And make the youth hunt does only in the parts of the state where it would be legal to do. $1 tag, allow baiting in the Lower Peninsula, and make the youth hunt does only where allowed. Okay, let's turn our attention a little bit. Just because I heard Pat running that promo there. Let's talk about football this weekend. Michigan, TCU, Ohio State, Georgia. What do you think? Hey, Mike, how are you? Mike says does only, but give the youth more than one tag. That'd be okay. You're driving me crazy with the football, Pat. $1 tag, no PRs, no APRs, bait as well. Donnie May says, just saying. Jeff says, Michigan 28, TCU, question mark. Pat says it's going to be Michigan, but he is not going out on the Ohio State, Georgia. He's not going there yet. Point restrictions. Terrain says point restrictions for sure. I'm not a big fan of point restrictions. I'm not. Because in my non-biologist opinion, if you go to a $1 tag, a lot of hunters are just going to be naturally more restrictive anyway. And the biologist will tell you, well, not very many people use the second tag. However, the fact that it's out there affects the way they hunt the first buck. That's a good point, Craig. Big buck walks by while waiting for a doe. What are most people going to do? They're going to shoot the buck, make them violators. For that reason, good point, Craig. Good point. Never made it up Monday morning, eh? I'm done. I didn't shoot my doe. I mean, come on. How hard is it to shoot a doe in Michigan? I never had an adult doe walk in front of me that I had the ability to shoot. And of course, our beloved food plots, once the deer started getting hunted, they went nocturnal anyway. $1 tag, more wives are going to start hunting. Jerry checking in from the Adirondacks on the ice. Jerry's still trying. I'm done. Didn't shoot it. So I didn't shoot a bear this year, Johnny. I always throw that back on Johnny, even though it's not Johnny's fault. Johnny's going to take the public brunt of it. But I will be back hunting with Johnny as soon as I can. So what's that tell you? Didn't shoot a bear this year. Didn't shoot a deer this year. So my resolutions for next year. I don't have resolutions because resolutions are meant to be broken. I have goals. Shoot a bear next year. Shoot a Michigan deer next year. Spend more time hunting, more time fishing, more time playing golf. Continue to promote the outdoors. On Point Outdoors will make sure you get one next time. Hunt public land by the turkey roost. See 10 does every sit. I haven't seen, Chris, I haven't seen. Well, that and to win the pure Michigan hunt. You're right. Yeah. Craig says, come to my cabin tomorrow if you want to shoot a doe. Craig, I thought your deer had turned nocturnal. I got to put pure Michigan hunt in here because there won't be. No, I can't. We can talk now about pure Michigan hunt, but I can't talk about it on the radio show because it'll be too late. Johnny said, if the wolves ever get down there like they're up, and you'll see how your $1 goes. $1, bring back baiting. We should never let them stop baiting. Wrong people running the DNR. Here's a test for Pat Johnston. You doing the show, Pat, or is Charlie? No. He's doing the podcast. Okay. If you need a doe, let me know. Yeah, but it's so late in the season now. I'm just saying, screw it. I'm done. Craig says they're back to daylight movement now. Good morning, Eric. How are you? $1, shorten the doe season. We don't need 60 days to shoot a deer. Apparently I do, Mike. Apparently I need 65 days because I wasn't able to get it done in 60 days. How many pheasants are released? Not many. More time on the angler quest. That is certainly a goal. Anybody talked about sandhills lately? No. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think our DNR leadership has the fortitude to push for a sandhill crane season. Johnny says your next bear will be chained to a tree by a logging chain. Well, that might not be legal, Johnny. Just saying. I'd love to see a sandhill season in Michigan. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they have the will to push for it. Because whenever you get involved in a fight with the anti-hunters, you better be ready. And you better be ready financially. You better be ready mentally. And you have to have the fortitude to push for it. And good morning, Sam. How are things at Jay's? I just don't, I don't see it. And that's, again, going back to coy wolves. That's why I say, please, 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 other than our discussions we have here, don't go down this coy wolf path because the antis will jump on it. They'll want to ban predator hunting, and the Michigan DNR will back down. They will not support us. They didn't support us on the consent decree, did they? They didn't. And I'm not an anti-DNR guy. I don't say I hate the DNR. I don't say they're staffed by incompetent people because I don't believe that. I think the DNR, for the most part, does a really, really good job. I'm just disappointed in some areas, including the fact that I don't think they backed us as sport anglers in the consent decree negotiations. There will never be a dove season, but that's not because of the DNR, Roy. That's because of us as hunters. We had a dove season. We had a mourning dove season in Michigan. But when the antis jumped on the bandwagon and it got on the ballot, we as Michigan hunters didn't support dove hunting and we let it go away. That's not a DNR thing. That's a Michigan hunter failure. Gary says, good morning from the blind in Northwest Michigan. Pretty quiet this morning. Would I like to see an earlier bow season? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Those deer are hunted for 3 months. I don't think so. Craig says he thinks the DNR got the best deal they could given our governor. So you're saying, Craig, don't put it on the DNR shoulders, put it on the governor's shoulders. Listen, I am more than eager to put any bad thing on the Governor S shoulders. Not a fan there at all. So yeah, I'm a guy who is not a political expert, but I would turn around and put every bad thing in this state on the governor because I am not a fan at all. She never did fix the damn roads, did she? She shut our state down during COVID, and we reelected her. Good morning, Ross. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. 3 minutes, Pat says. Oh, so what else? Okay, don't forget my email address. If you think I'm full of crap, that's fine. Let's have this discussion. My email address is mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. Let me know what you think. My website is mikeaveryoutdoors.com. My email address is mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I am here live every Wednesday morning at 8:45 from the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. We also do a Wednesday night live every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, working on it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, it's on Twitter, it's on LinkedIn. It's not on Instagram, but we're working on it. We're working on a workaround to be live on Instagram as well. Baiting. Yeah, I think we should have baiting. You are welcome, Cliff. My pleasure. And this week's Ask Avery segment will deal with the concept of coy wolves and why it's not a good idea to jump on that bandwagon, in my opinion. Johnny says, I'll see you tonight from Andy's. Johnny, you have earned your time in Andy's with all the time you've spent in the seat of that big plow truck. Oh, what else? We will give away one last Wednesday night live ham for the holidays, courtesy of Nick Grillo, the Grillo family of Michigan brand meats. That'll happen tonight at about 7:20 during our Wednesday night live. And then we'll take a break until Lent. And I think we'll probably start giving them away again at that point. You know who I see is not with us this morning? Tim Binns is not with us. Hope everything's good, Tim. 1 minute. 1 minute. In 1 minute, I will change my focus from interacting with you to doing the radio show. I'll switch from this microphone, my official social media microphone, to this one, my broadcast microphone. What's going on with Mousie's fish bait? Nobody has any, can't get any. I don't know, Mike. I don't know. Good question. Brent said they had a Michigan brand for Christmas. It was we did too, Brent. We had two of them. We had one at our house and one at my mom's house yesterday. Eli says he's going to take a little deer. Not much longer left in the season. That's what I should have done. Shoot a fawn, because Lord knows I can't shoot a doe. 15. I will, Donnie Mae. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Blast off. Well, enjoy your week off, Gene. DM. All right, DM. Appreciate that. You have a nice day as well, Davina. All right, John, I'll be talking to you soon. You have a great day as well, Brent. All right, my friends. I got to go to work. It's not really work. I know. It's not really work. I get that. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. Welcome, 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 welcome back. If you've been with us before, welcome. If you are a new listener, I appreciate you being along with us. What an interesting week it has been. Well, we made it through Christmas. Happy New Year to you, by the way. But what a weather roller coaster. Michigan's meteorologist, Mark Torregrossa, was on the show probably 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. And he said at the time, he said it's going to be a weather roller coaster, but I had no idea what he was talking about. From blizzard conditions last weekend to predicted warm spells, melting, maybe some flooding this weekend. It is indeed a weather roller coaster. And it's made it very interesting for our outdoor passions, our outdoor pursuits. I mean, great snow, first ice across much of the state. Who knows how it's going to end up, at least in the lower. We get the temperatures they're talking about. It's going to cut the ice from above and below. It's going to knock down a lot of snow. I guess we just wait and see what happens there, eh? So New Year 2023, what does that mean? Well, it's always a time to look back on the past year, right? And look forward to the coming year. When I look back on 2022, I look back with the mixed emotions. It was a great year. I mean, wonderful year. Had some great times. Had a lot of fun outdoors. Never did shoot a bear. Didn't shoot an Ontario bear, which is okay. I go to Ontario and I make a choice. Am I going to shoot a bear or not? Because I will have the opportunity to shoot a bear. That's pretty much a given. This year, because my daughter's getting married at the end of the summer, I'm going to go back to Ontario for the spring hunt, which is actually about the first week in June. So didn't shoot a bear this year. Didn't shoot a deer. My goodness. How inept do you have to be to not be able to at least shoot a doe during a 3-month season? I guess that's me. I'm describing myself. I never had an adult doe in front of me the entire season, let alone an adult. And by adult, I mean 2.5-year-old buck. Wow. What a loser you are, Avery. I'll say it now so you don't have to say it. Oh, but I was out there. I tried. I had fun. So that brings us to 2023. I don't make resolutions because in my mind, resolutions are made to be broken. I set goals. So I'm going to set some goals for 2023. My goals for 2023 include shooting a bear. I will not get a Michigan bear tag this year. I know I won't. So I'll go to Ontario in the spring with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters, and my goal will be to shoot a bear. We need some more bear meat in the freezer, and I have a lot of friends who love bear meat. So I'm gonna go up there the first week in June with the intent of shooting a bear. I will set another goal for 2023 to shoot a Michigan whitetail. It's been a long time since I shot a Michigan whitetail. And part of it is I just got so disinterested in deer hunting for so many years that I just kind of backed away from it and didn't spend much time in the whitetail woods. But that interest has been rekindled. Obviously, the skill level has not been rekindled, but the interest has been rekindled. So for 2023, for this year, I really want to shoot a Michigan deer, and it doesn't have to be a buck. I don't care. Big old fat Michigan doe will be just fine, whether it happens in the archery season or later on in the year. I don't know. We'll see. But that's a goal. In general, one of my generic goals is just to spend more time hunting and fishing. To spend as much time on the water, on that angler quest on Saginaw Bay. That's my home body of water. I realize we have a lot of great fisheries here in Michigan, but Saginaw Bay is in my backyard. I mean, I can literally leave my driveway and be on the angler quest in less than a half hour on Saginaw Bay. So where do you think I'm going to go? On the angler quest on Saginaw Bay and chase walleye. So my goal is to spend as much time out there as possible to explore some different water. I'm a skinny water guy. I love skinny water. If I could spend the entire summer fishing water less than 10 feet, I would do it. I love that skinny water. I love it because the fish are in there. When the fish are in there, they are there because they're aggressive and they're feeding. And when they are in there in that skinny water, it can be so much fun. But I want to play around with a few, fine tune some tactics, some techniques, explore some additional skinny water, maybe spend some time out in the deeper water to see if I can get that figured out a little bit better. And turkey hunting. Yes, I'll be in the turkey woods this spring. I'd like to shoot a big long beard this year. I really, if you look at 2022 from a harvest perspective, I didn't shoot a turkey last year. I didn't shoot a bear last year. I didn't shoot a deer last year. But I don't look at last year as being a failure because I was out there and I had a lot of fun. But the goals for this year: shoot a turkey, shoot a bear, shoot a deer. And that's something I will strive for. But to be honest with you, if those things don't happen, yet I get out there and I have some fun working toward those goals, it won't be a bad year. But those are goals. So more time hunting, more time fishing. To be honest, more time on the golf course. My wife, Denise, and I rekindled our passion for golf. We took about 25 years, at least 20 years off from golf. We started golfing again last year and fell in love with it. I love it. I love the mental aspect of it. I love the physical aspects. We usually walk the course so we can, get a little bit of a workout in, get some steps in, more golf. Purely personal, a goal for this year is to continue to keep the weight off. It's been 4 years now since I had bariatric surgery. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job keeping the weight off. Honestly, a few pounds have crept back. They said that would happen, but I'm doing pretty good. So I want to continue to keep the weight off, continue to walk, maybe even start to run a little bit. I mean, I'll be 65 this year, and the concept of starting to do some jogging is interesting because I hate running so much. Maybe I'll make myself do it as a way to keep the weight off. A big goal for this year, for 2023, I want to continue to promote the outdoors, continue to encourage people, you, your friends, family, to get outdoors, to do some hunting, do some fishing. I want to continue to use the voice that I have to protect our outdoor passions and pursuits in whatever small way that I can. So that's what I'm looking for in 2023. Wonder what your goals are. I mean, for those of us who love the outdoors, right? The goals are we want to spend as much time hunting and fishing as we can. Absolutely. So what else is new? Oh, I got a new truck. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, Avery, 2 weeks ago, you told the story about the upper ball joint on your truck coming loose. So you went out and got a new truck. No, the real reason I got a new truck is the old one got dirty. No, that's a joke. No, I lease my trucks for 3 years. And traditionally at the end of the second year, because I'm a fairly high mileage driver, I just it's time to get out of the lease and get into a new vehicle because it wouldn't be worth anything at the end of 3 years. So while I was in there, my friends at Garber Chevy, I said, hey, should we look at getting out of this lease and getting into a new one? They said, you know what? Yeah, absolutely, it does. The used truck market is still strong, but it's starting to get a little bit soft. They said, let's do that. Let's put you into a new vehicle. So we did, and I got a 2022, not a 23. I got a 2022 ZR2 Chevy Silverado from Garber Chevy. Really a sweet truck. I think I'll put some kind of graphics on it. I'm going to wrap it again, maybe not to the extent that I logoed up the last vehicle. And even though this truck comes with a 2-inch lift, I think I'd like to put bigger tires under it, which might mean bringing that front end up a little bit more. I don't know. I don't want to do it, but I want to put bigger tires on it. So we'll see what happens. Coy wolves. We're going to talk more about the concept of coy wolves at the end of the second hour in the Ask Avery segment. But let me just say right now, let's be very careful. We as outdoorsmen and women and hunters, let's be very, very careful about how we address the concept of coy wolves. I know PBS and those folks say that there are coy wolves, but let's be careful about that. If we embrace the concept that wolves and coyotes are interbreeding and that there is wolf DNA in coyotes, it'll be the end of predator hunting as we know it, because the antis will jump on that concept and they will shut down coyote hunting, and the Michigan DNR won't be able to stop it. So let's be very, very, very careful in that discussion. We'll talk more about that in the second hour. Coming up after the break, Judy Lynn Black. She is a Northern Michigan hardcore outdoors woman, hunter. She has written a new book. Then John Callison, the president of the CMU Bass Fishing Club, and then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News will wrap up this first hour of Outdoor Magazine. My name is Mike Avery, the website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com, the email address, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. We'll take a break. Glad you're with us. Good morning, Kevin. What do you think of the concept of coy wolves? Bad road to go down, right? Bad road to go down. All right, my friends, thanks for joining me. Have a good day. Hopefully you can join me tonight, 7 o'clock, for another edition of Wednesday Night Live right here on Mike Avery Outdoors.